a Python module can interact with a program written in another computer language. Specifically, the scenario that we're dealing with here today is that we're going to ask or we're going to have a Python module access the circle area from a C source code, from a C program. All right, as you can see here, the area of a circle is pi r squared. We import mpy from math.h, and then we raise radius to the power of 2, effectively saying we have mpy times r squared. So before we can proceed to create the Python module, we need to create a shared library. Okay, the shared library will act as some sort of a wrapper around our C code. We will give the shared library the same name as the C source code itself. So C library.so, this is the shared library, and the source code is C library.c. So now we have C library.so. Now let's proceed to the Python module. The first thing that we need to do is import ctypes. Ctypes allows any Python module or Python code to interact with a program written from another computer language. So step number one is that we have to load the shared library into the memory. So we load the shared library into the memory, and this will return a library object, which will now assign to lib object. The library object now has access to the function on the C code side, which is circle area. Circle area. We can assign this to area. Area now is the function that has been mapped to library object circle area. Now we have to do some setup. As you can tell, each function is its own argument type. So ctypes that cint. It's a list actually, because a C function can have several arguments, but in this case we only have one, which is an integer. And then we have to specify the result type. The result type, the return value, is a double. So we set that to double. Ctypes that C double. Wait, I don't think this is right. That's a string. Let me do this. Yep. So ctypes, that's it. Argument, and result type is ctypes that C double. Now let's call area using an integer value 2. So the radius is 2, pi r squared. We can end up with 4 times 3 point around 12. That should be the correct answer. Let's run it now. There we go. We have 12.56 blah 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 whatsoever. So the first thing that we did is to have a C code that we need to uh, um, in that the Python module will interact with. In this case, we started with this C library.c containing circle area. And then on our Python module, we imported ctypes. We loaded into memory the shared object that we have created based on the C code. So load the shared library into memory, and then this will return a library object. We assign it to this variable here. Library object now has access to the functions within the C code, in this case, circle area. So we assign circle area to area. We do some setup, specify the argument types, which is in this case an integer, and then we specify the result type. In this case, it's a double, and then we call area using the argument 2. If we run again, let's try a different number. Let's say 4. That will be 16 times 12. This will be a value. So let's run this. 50 point. That's correct. Let's change this. Pi r squared. We should get around 3 point something, right? So yeah. So there you go. So C types is like our bridge from Python to other applications written in another computer language. Thank you. That's all for today. And tomorrow I'll continue with other argument types, uh, other data types like an array or a list. Thank you so much. Good night.